Day 11 of doing it scared. yesterday yesterday was a bit of a doozy of a day. I just wanted to get on here and first start with the gratitude I have for the people that reached out to me, and it means a lot. I used to be in a place where I didn't have any community of people that would reach out to me if I was struggling, so it means a lot to me when there's others in the world that care. And it is incredible to see the love and support that I have from all over. So that's what I wanted to start this out with yesterday. From yesterday's just gratitude. As I reflect and think about yesterday, I also want to share a little bit about how I've worked through some of these really down, depressive states, and um, I think I don't know, maybe it'll help someone. I didn't realize, but supposedly it's Suicide Prevention Month, and how perfect is it that I'm going to start talking about these things a little bit more uh, in Suicide Prevention Month. So yesterday was a hard day for me, just all around. It started out kind of rough. I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. I had a couple of pieces of news that were upsetting, and there were just a lot of things. It was a lot of things that compounded to me feeling the way I felt yesterday. And then I got on here and I tried to record a video, and it didn't work, and then it took me so long to try to figure out something else, and it was really heavy. So I'm grateful for the people that sat and watched without any judgment, and I just want to say too, like, I'm really proud of myself for being able to get out of that. In the past, that could have easily turned into a week of staying down in this deep in the dumps and depression and not being able to pull myself out. Or it could have been longer than that, because usually what happens is it compounds, and it's frustrating. But like, when you have a negative thought, or when you have something negative happen, what tends to happen is it compounds in a negative direction. So one negative thing happens, and then you see another negative thing happens, and your brain starts to find all the negative things that happen. And that's not great, because obviously what that does is it makes you feel worse. So what I do now is, after I get through it, and after I got through, let's just the moment on camera, once I got through that, what I did was I took a step back, and I went and I took a lot of deep breaths. I did a little bit of journaling. I tried to see if there was any triggers or anything specifically that made this thing come on, and then I started to try to find the positive. Now, this finding the positive is not an easy thing for a depressed person to do, because even the most positive thing can be seen as a negative. Your brain likes to twist it into this negative. It can twist anything into negative. So what I do is, in trying to find the positive, it's just trying to find the really simple things that I can find positive in. So it's like, okay, I have breath. Now, it's interesting, but as a depressed person, you can say, oh, I have breath, but then it's like, well, I have breath and I'm alive, and that's terrible, and blah, 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 blah. But this positive feeling of breath, instead, it's wow, I'm grateful that, I could have a hard time breathing and still be alive, but have a hard time breathing. So it's like, you have to work really hard to find the smallest thing you can to work on finding that positive, that silver lining. And again, it's not easy to tell a depressed person to look on the bright side of things, and I don't think that's the answer. But doing this over years, right? Years. I've done this stuff for years and years and years and years. So it's like, one, find the small do some breath work, finds the positive, and then two, move. Moving is so important. And go outside and go for a walk. And even if I like to not put pressure on a walk, because there used to be a part of me, and there still is in a lot of ways, it's like walking to get to a destination. Like, okay, whether that's I have to burn this amount of calories, or I have to get an amount of steps in, or I have to, whatever it is, it's always like, it's very goal orientated. But instead, especially when you're feeling really down, instead of it being goal oriented, say, I'm going to meander. I'm just going to meander. I'm going to meander around. I'm just going to go outside. I'm going to walk. I'm going to see what I can see. And if there's sunshine, great, that helps. The vitamin D is very helpful. I'm going to see if there's sunshine, but movement is just so beautiful when it comes to depression. It's such an important thing. So just moving, and don't put any judgment on it. Just move. Just go outside. It doesn't set a timer for 10 minutes. Even if it's just sitting outside, that's helpful too. And looking at the birds, listening to the birds, looking at the trees, seeing the wind rustle through them, like whatever small thing you can do, looking at the clouds and trying to find shapes in the clouds. All that stuff kind of feels silly, but I do all of those things. And though when I first started practicing gratitude, when I first started practicing trying to be positive, when I first started all these things, it didn't help that much at first. But over the years, and I know years, it stinks that it's years, but over the years, I've been able to jump out of those negative states a lot quicker. I've been able to look at them more objectively. I've been able to see the good in them. And a belief that I'm really trying to cultivate now is everything happens for my highest good. And that's something that I still don't fully believe that, but that is what I'm working on trying to believe, is that everything happens, even the negative, even the bad. I get stuck at a simple thing in traffic. You get stuck in traffic. Well, I'm stuck in this traffic because it's saving me from some other horrible thing from happening, from me getting in an accident, from me, like, just the whatever it is. If my flights are I travel a lot. If my flights are delayed, it's like, okay, well, this is happening because they need to make sure the plane is good, so the plane could have crashed if it wasn't delayed. And just like reframing everything, the good, the bad, all of it is just, this is happening for my highest good. This is happening for my highest good. So if you're in a really depressed state, sometimes it's good just to take a step back from all the work and everything that you have to do. If you can take a step back for a minute, you can get moving, you can get focused on some small positives, and it's really hard, but write it out. If you can journal it all, it's very helpful. You can sit there and you can journal everything, all the negative, blah, 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 everything sucks, and life is just the worst, and everything, all the negative. Just write it all down, get it all out, or dictate it out, or just record something like this, but to yourself, and you can record it. If you don't like seeing your face, I get it. I get it. Or you don't like hearing your voice even, it's fine, but just hit a record on your phone and just start talking about all the junk, all the worst things that are happening to you, all the badness, everything. Just talk about it. Just say it out loud. And even saying it out loud like that is really powerful, and it starts to loosen its grip. And the other thing is, just don't have judgment. A lot of it is like, we get more depressed and we compound on the depression because we sit and we judge ourselves for having this. We don't want to feel this way, or we feel bad that we're feeling this way, and then we're mad at ourselves for feeling this way, and then it just compounds into this negative. It just gets more and more negative and heavier and heavier and heavier. So don't judge yourself for feeling that way. It's okay. It's okay that you feel that way. And the other thing, and this is really, really important, is find somebody to talk to. Reach out for help. You'd be surprised. Your friends, your family. There's a lot of people out there that love you. There's a lot of people out there loving you. If you feel like you don't have anybody, I'm sorry. Reach out to me. And though I can't fix anything, I can listen. And I would love to be there just to listen to you. And I'll listen. I can't fix it, but I can listen. And sometimes having somebody there just to listen to all your problems and all the things that you're going through is really helpful. So to summarize this video, so I don't go on for 25 minutes, to summarize this video, I just want you to, if you're in a depressed state, I want you to, I think first is just, if you can find somebody to ask for help, ask for help. There's great resources out there. Even if you Google it, throw it on Reddit, whatever, just ask for help. 2, another thing you can do is movement. Get outside, or even inside. You can do movement inside. I love to do a little bit of yoga or stretching or just simple rocking back and forth. Like, give yourself a hug and just rock yourself back and forth. It mimics what your parent, your mother or your father did when you were a baby, when you were crying. And this is a great thing. And I just like to do this and kind of hum. It helps. It helps get your focus somewhere else. You need focus somewhere else. And then the third thing you can do is write it all down. Just write it all down. All the negative. Write it or dictate it, or however you need to get it out. Get it out. Get it out of your system. Get the negativity out of your system. And it's not a magic pill. This isn't a magic pill that's going to fix you, but it will help. It'll help relieve the symptom of depression just a little bit. Just a little bit. And those are the top things that I always go to when I'm feeling really, really down. Yesterday was really hard. By the end of the day, I felt much better. And then what's great, when you do those things, you start to find little things that you can be proud of yourself for. And when you have stuff that you can be proud of yourself for, I did this, you start to feel a little better. You feel a little bit better about yourself. You feel like, oh, I have some worth. I'm doing something. I'm actively contributing to my life. And you need to contribute to your life. You need to care about your life. And it's really hard to do when you're really depressed. So I'm sorry. But I know that the power is within you and that you can, in fact, overcome this. Just have patience with yourself. Have grace with yourself. Go easy on yourself. Don't be so harsh. We're often our harshest judge. Just, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I'll end this video with this. If you are struggling with major depression, especially on the border of suicide, please reach out to someone. Reach out to someone. People care. And I know it's hard to see it's hard to see that your life matters, but it does. And I know it does because you're here, because you're watching this video, because you are alive, and therefore it does matter. It does. And everything in your mind is going to convince you that it doesn't matter, but that's not true. It's not. That's not the truth. That's a lie that you're being told. It's a lie that you're being told. So reach out to somebody. You are loved and you are enough as you are. And that's really, really important to understand that. And I know we want to get into the doing and we're like, oh, we need to contribute, blah, blah, blah. But you are loved and you are enough as you are. And here's the thing. When you understand that fully, when you realize that fully, you start to act as if you are enough and loved as you are. Your actions become easier. The things that you do, the things that you want in life, it all becomes easier, but you have to believe, you have to understand, you have to know that you are loved and you are enough as you are. 100% you are. I know that. I know that to be true. And if you know that to be true as well, if you understand that, then guess what? All your actions, they start to become more effortless. You start to align yourself with the things that you want to do. You start to become love. You start to become enough. You start to understand that you are loved and you are enough. Today is going to be a good day. I know it can be hard to see that, but it's going to be a good day. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. This is day 11. I think day 11 of doing it scared. Day 11 of doing it scared. I didn't think I would keep. I once I committed, I knew I would do it. When I commit to something. But if you were to ask me 2 years ago, I would have been like, well, I need to get a plan first. I need to get this together. I need to get that together. It needs to be perfect. I need to have this equipment, this lighting, that thing, all the stuff. And you don't need it. Just do the thing that you know you want to do. Do the thing you know you want to do. That'll also help with your depression. I love you.